everybody. My most humble apologies for not hopping on yesterday at 3 o'clock. I had some stuff to sort out. My parents are going away on holiday and I'm just sorting out a few things for them. Let's go through news from yesterday, what we were meant to do. It's actually quite interesting. Let me write the actual news on, I'm going to put it on the screen for us. Okay, so let me just put this on the other screen. Give me 1 second, gents. Okay, so yesterday's CPI. So can you guys see everything? Is everything perfectly clear? Good morning, PR. Good morning, good morning. How are you doing, my brother? Okay, so 13th November. CPI release. No, don't close the tab. Okay, let's have a look at the news real quick and see what was forecasted. Okay, so our previous was 7.7. The forecast was 7.3, and the actual was 7.1. Okay. So this is the news release from yesterday. We are looking at the dollar, and this was dollar related news. News was released here during this big drop. Let's go on the 1 hour. We could look at it a bit clearer. Okay, so news was dropped here in this candle here. So how do we read this news? Okay, so CPI is core price inflation. If your core price inflation is currently sitting at 7.7 and it drops to anything below that, price should drop. If the forecast predicts the prices, predicts that the release is going to be less than 7.7, but it's actually more than 7.7, price will continue to shoot up. Okay. So that's what we can tell from CPI release. If this release was 7.8, price would have gone up. But because the release was lower than the last time, it means that the CPI data has dropped. Now there's a whole bunch of things that go into CPI at some consumer price index, right? So basically what this means is how much goods are costing people. It comes down to your daily things like going to the supermarket, buying bread, milk, your meats, water, all that sort of stuff falls under CPI data. All of that is red. And by the looks of it, if the results are negative, it's bad for the dollar. So we need to bookmark that and note this. If CPI release is lower than forecasted, it is going to eat the dollar alive. Okay, so let's make a note on that on our charts here. If CPI data is, if data Okay, cool. So we'll have this here on our charts all the time, just to remind us, CPI. We'll put this into a folder where we screenshot all of our news things, and we will compile data on all the different news releases. So now CPI, we know that if the actual is released lower than forecast, it's going to drop the dollar. If it's higher than forecasted and it's higher than the previous, the dollar is going to strengthen. And so we'll compile a whole sheet like this for you guys on all the different news releases and what we could potentially expect. Yeah. Okay, so now that we've gone through that, let's have a look at what the dollar actually did throughout this news release. Okay, so the news release was obviously this big long candle here. It came and broke structure down here. Passed to the downside. And it has left behind a supply that we can trade from. Let's translate this onto our main charts, onto our pairs. Okay, here I said if the highs break, we can find continuation long positions. So that's exactly what we're going to look for. This internal high was taken, swing high was taken here. Price pushed all the way up here. Now we're going to wait for the retracement into this demand down here, because this is where price first took off. This is where all the momentum kicked into the market. This supply right here, this demand right here. So we're not looking for shorts right now. If that supply is flipped, or if that demand is flipped, then we can expect short positions. Sven, what's happening, my brother? I believe you did join yesterday. I had some things to do. Very, very sorry I did not make that things, but we've just gone through news. So we saw CPI yesterday. Price dropped quite drastically. That's because the actual release was lower than the previous result, and it was lower than the forecasted prediction. So what we can tell from the CPI release is if your actual release is lower than your forecasted release, price is going to drop. So let's say, for instance, yesterday's what does this stand for again? Jeez, give me a second. It stands for previous, that's it. Okay. So the previous release was 7.7. If the forecast came in at 7.3 and the actual release came in at 7.8, price would have shot up, price would have strengthened. So that's what we can know for the next CPI news release. If the actual is lower than the previous and the forecast, she's going up. If it is higher than the previous and the forecast, it's going up. Okay, going down, going up. You guys understand. Yeah, my dad, mom and dad are going on holiday. Sorry, Sven, I'm talking to you, brother. Mom and dad are going on holiday, so I just had a couple of things to do with my dad yesterday before he leaves. He leaves on Saturday. So I actually buy my dad a motocross bike, and he's like, I want it now before I leave. So I was like, fuck, okay. We went yesterday and just got him one. So I didn't trade the news yesterday, but we looked at it this morning, and you can clearly see what the results were and what the reaction in the market was. So from that data, we're going to compile that. We're going to compile all the next ones that we test, and we'll send you guys a sheet, like a news cheat sheet, just telling you, like, hey, if the release is higher than expected, blah blah blah, you can expect it to be dovish, etc. Bullish, we'll use bullish and bearish, not dovish and whatever. Okay, so how does this transfer to us? Euro USD, we've just broken swing structure to the upside. We've flipped all these supplies to the left here. So now we can find long continuations from this demand down here. It's quite clear. I think price will continue to move all the way down here. 1 hour change of character will only come from way down here. And that'll also fall in line with our demand. So if price does end up breaking this demand, we're going short. But let's look for longs from this demand on EU. I think to be very valid. GU, same. We've broken our internal high. We've broken our swing high quite aggressively. Our internal low is still intact, so we're not looking for shorts right now. It is a possibility, but we're looking for longs right now. This is the demand zone that we will use. It's a 4-hour demand. Price might come and create some sort of inducement, but ultimately I think we will get a reaction from this demand. Yeah, so that's what we're looking for. We will set an alert on the open and create this thing. So once price hits our demand, we'll look for our entry model. You guys know. GBP JPY. So yesterday Rowan and I, we were debating about a trade. We were like, should we take this trade? Shouldn't we take this trade? And it actually melted. So when we trade against the trend, like if we're looking for a pullback after a break of structure, see this line here? We've just broken structure. So we can start looking for a pullback. If you have broken structure and you find a 1-hour change of character, you can play that. So this is what we found yesterday. High was put in, price came, broke that high, broke the low that caused that boss there. Then we went on the 15-minute, found this beautiful order block sitting here. And the rest is history. We didn't take it, but we monitored it. So this is going to be something very, very valuable that we can use. 1-hour chalk, 50-minute order block, boom, get that reversal. So from here it melted 146 pips, so that would have provided us with a good bit of money. Would have closed out in this demand because this is quite a strong demand. So from here, I could potentially see longs from this demand, but I think only temporarily, maybe to touch the moving average and fill up some imbalance in the market. But I see a trend line liquidity that over here probably wants to be taken. I'll just use this line here. Whole lot of trend line liquidity. That is a big price wants to come here. So I can definitely expect price to pull into something down here. Maybe watch this, don't use it, but watch it. Price might just react to this demand here. Watch it. Also, if you put your fib on from the bottom to the top, all the way across the whole leg, this will be looking at the daily basically. This demand falls into the golden zone. So we'll have that mark, see what happens, but I think we're looking for a flip of this demand here first. It is quite an aggressive move up. This is a 1-hour order block. It is quite a nice move, but I think this will ultimately be flipped because there's liquidity sitting over here. Yeah, you're in a long from this demand. There we go, bro. I think you'll definitely get trades from it. You'll definitely get like a 7-hour at least, bro. I would hold it. I would partial out to protect the position, 100%. But I do see price potentially coming down. Hold your longs, don't close them out anywhere, just partial out. Partial out, it's very important. I actually want to find your trade. Did you get in here or here? Did you get into the right or to the left? To the left, to the left. To the right, to the right. To the right. Long set to 5R and taking partials. Boom, that's perfect, bro. That is perfect, perfect. We've taught ya well, man. We've taught ya well. Yeah, sweet. Let's look at the daily. What is the daily doing? It's a bit messy on the daily because I don't hide my stuff. Yeah, if we look at the daily, we've got a lot of interest sitting here. We've got this demand here. We've got this inside bar here. We've got this whole range here. So there's a lot of interest on the daily. We could definitely see longs to break the structure from here. But remember, that range on the daily spreads all the way down here. But I think you are safe holding your longs. Just don't close them, partial out. Okay. Well, I will wait for if yeah, here you don't even have any structure. It's just a huge, massive drop. We'll wait for price to develop on GJ and see what it does, but I'll monitor what price does from this moving average, just out of interest. Gold, flippity demand, supply. Okay, so this has been flipped all nice and beautifully. There's nothing else we're looking at to the left. Taking out all structure with this news. Let's see the reaction that we get from this range here. Just do it properly, like we're actually looking for it. Boom, liquidation and longs. Change the color to greens because it's long. And on gold we'll be looking for longs from that demand. 1 hour change of character won't be possible because 1 hour structure is down here, so that's a long leg. Bitcoin, due to the weakness yesterday on the dollar, we've seen some nice strength, pushed up into like 18,000, liquidated. I think it might just come back, touch the moving average and move, depending on what the dollar decides to do. There is who's speaking today? There's a dude speaking today. What's his name? Let me get it quickly. FOMC. There's such heavy news. Okay, so we're gonna look today and see what this is gonna do. Okay. Okay, so basically FOMC, it's a board that comes together and they decide, okay, cool, what do we need to do, guys? Do we need to like raise the interest rate, or do we need to like put more inflation in order to like stabilize the market? So these dudes decide the direction of the market. These motherfuckers here, FOMC, these guys are the men. The Feds also, I don't like to fuck with these guys, they're quite hectic. Let's look today, but I think we're going to see some proper momentum. Inside sources say that they are looking at a dovish speech. I will confirm with Rowan, but I think that means we're going to see more negative pressure on the dollar. Let me confirm that, yeah? But we got big news coming up today. It's late at 9 o'clock tonight, but like this is big shit happening today. Yesterday CPI, big news release. Today, big news release. Tomorrow, what's happening tomorrow? Retail sales. That's okay. So today we're also looking at a massive news release. Yeah? Let's see what happens from it. Then we can compile data on that too. Okay, Bitcoin. Let's see. I think it'll come back into a demand somewhere here. These buy to sells look quite good. Might come back into that, and then continue to strengthen with the dovish speech that is expected to happen tonight. I don't want to jinx it or give you guys expectations, but I heard it's going to be dovish, so let's just see. Ethereum, same breaking all structure. We got a big one up here, a big structure here, but this structure didn't break structure, so this is just, yeah, it's just there. Okay, yeah, same. We can expect longs from like, this looks good, like this demand here. Luna. Okay, we've tapped into this demand again, which is quite nice. Let's see if the speech will push price a little bit more higher, like we're expecting. Okay, let's see. It is later tonight, so I think the markets aren't going to have much volume today in anticipation for FOMC later tonight. That's going to be a banger. Guys, yesterday, oh my god, so I'm doing a 100k valuation, but I'm doing it with a bot, with a robot. Brr. With the news release yesterday, I'm only meant to make $5,000 on my challenge, my phase 2. But $37,000 in 5 minutes, bro. I was so shocked. I'm very surprised. I did very well. Unfortunately, can't use that on live account, but I trade my accounts live. I just pass them with robots. Okay, Luna, we're waiting for the speech. Also, Ripple saw some nice momentum here. We've liquidated these highs. All of these highs were liquidated. I think we'll see a pullback and then more bullish momentum. As I said, let's just wait for that speech and see what the FOMC does today, and that'll determine the direction of the market. Let's actually have a look at EU on the daily. Let's see if the speech could potentially push price into something. It can actually, hey? Because we're due for a pullback here, guys. Look at this. We're due for a pullback. This is like a vertical fucking wall. We need a pullback. And we need to find something where the pullback can potentially happen from. So the high is like here. No. So that's where the high is. Okay, so we're in a daily supply here. Let's see if this speech. Let's see what the speech does. Let's see what the speech does. I want to pull back so hard because you can hold this thing long. So let's see what this speech says tonight. I'm not going to trade it, but I'm very interested in what it's going to do. Okay, we're back on Ripple here. Now we're moving on to Doge. We saw the opposite reaction on Doge. Look at Doge. Doge came down. I can't tell you why Doge came down, because all the other cryptos are up from that speech, but Doge is down. I'll look into this. I'll maybe message Elon Musk and ask him if he's got anything to do with it, but this is very weird. Should have seen bullish momentum if it is, yeah. Because it is Doge USD, so that's quite strange, unless the Doge really just ate it hard for some reason. I'll check up on this and I'll get back to you guys on the Doge. Oh, Euro GBP. It's still playing around. I've noticed this pair moves quite slowly and it likes to liquidate. It likes to liquidate. Okay, let's have a look at what we're actually looking at here. We've got this structure. It's still intact here. Structure's still intact up here. This is all internal. We've liquidated this low, haven't taken out this high. So if this high took out this if this high took out this low here, this would be a strong high. And if this low did not break this high, this would be a weak low, meaning price should target this low. Guess based on that internal structure, I would fully expect price to come and break structure down below, down here. So let's look at the 15 minutes to see what it's doing. Yeah, look at this thing. I think it's going to come down. The structure is very, very, very important. We can also just have a look at this moving average is cruising here. It's the moving average is a quant-based indicator, so it's got a lot of numerical values in there that are calculated based on price and previous price, and like it's a very good indicator to use. Price might just tap into this on Euro GBP into the moving average and then move. Let's see what happens there. It also falls into some buy to sell wicks, but they're very, very long. So let's see what happens on EG, but I'm expecting shorts on EG based on this internal structure. USD ZAR. Yeah, the dollar really ate it yesterday. I thought price was going to pull into about 18 Rand and then melt, but it looked like it was happy with like 17.75. We've got this demand that broke this structure, so we might see a pullback from this demand to touch the moving average and then sell. Here's your buy to sell wicks as well, sell to buy wicks. So we do have interest here for short positions. Let's see what happens, but we need to see if this flips. If this flips, there we can also find short positions from the flip. Very important. The USDs are, I think it'll weaken. Let's see what the speech does tonight. Very interested in that. I actually might like watch it and just, I might see it. I'm interested. Indicator time. Let's see. How's our indicator performing today? Okay, so this is, I don't know, but this one had already played out, so that one was already used. Yeah, yesterday it didn't call out any new supplies, it's just used these. This one that was called out yesterday was actually called out and used already. We had already marked it up as a trade taken from there, so we wouldn't have used it again. So far, like, it looks good. It looks good. Nothing new to report from this side. No new areas created, so we'll just monitor the ones we currently have on. Let's look at GBP USD quickly. GBP USD is spitting out something down here. So let's see what price does from here and mark it up. Gold. Alright, awesome. Okay guys, just to recap, news today is very important news. I'm gonna wait for it. I probably won't look for any positions due to FOMC tonight, and yeah, it's just, there's a lot going on. But if price happens to pull into this demand, I'm happy for longs, because if price pulls into this demand throughout the day, and that speech tonight is dovish and we see bearish momentum on the dollar, we will find long positions from this demand. So let's monitor price. Price, let me just draw this for you guys. We can maybe expect a corrective pullback. I think I'm going to do my live streams like the Grinch until Christmas for you guys. I'm going to do a poll, see if you guys would like that. So we could maybe expect a corrective pullback, and maybe by the news release we see it tap into the demand somewhere. So let's see what happens here. Interesting to see. But I'll update you guys. Today I'm just going out with my dad this morning, but I'll send you my chart this morning. I don't think too much will be produced. I think if anything by this afternoon there'll be something nice to look at. But for now, very quiet, lots of imbalance. It has to be filled, and also just anticipating news. So I don't think there's going to be a lot of momentum. People are waiting for the news. Alright guys, I hope you guys have a good day. I'm sorry I didn't do that 3 o'clock stream for the news, but we did it this morning. We got the data that we needed, and we will compile more data as we go forward. News is quite important, and I'm learning the importance of news. It's good. Guys, have a good one. I will catch you guys in the premium section of our Discord. This will be uploaded on YouTube. Please like, please subscribe, and please leave a comment for us to get back to you guys on. Alright, peace and love guys. Have a good one, and I will speak to you guys soon.